Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint a Highland Cow. We're going to try to keep it pretty simple for our beginners, and I'm going to show you step by step how to do it from start to finish. I've got my husband, Mark, with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's man in chat for our live show, so if you have questions, you can ask those, and I'll try to answer them. Let's get started. All right, so I'm using a 9x12" canvas panel today. This is the Belgian Linen Fredrix Pro Series canvas boards. They're nice and smooth, so it'll make doing some of our fine hair work a little bit easier. I really like them. Let me go over our brushes really quick. I've got a number 10 bright, a number 6 angle bright. That's probably what we're going to do most of the large hair work with, since he's got kind of clumped hair. I don't think I'm going to do it super fine today. I think it'll be a little easier to use the angle brush for that. A number 2 brown for some details. And then I've got a 1/4" and 3/8" angle brush for some details as well, just in case. I'm not sure we're going to use all these brushes, but we might. These are the VelvetTouch line in the red handles, and the green handles are the 6100 series from Princeton. All the brushes are from Princeton. Willow's blenders, 1/4" and 3/8", and then I've got a fine liner for the eyelashes and a number 2 round for some of the smaller details in the eyes. So just use what you've got, but if you want to find the brushes that I'm using, I have a link down in the description to the brush guides where you can get them. Let me go over the colors really quick. I've got Cadmium Red Light, Cadmium Yellow Medium, Yellow Oxide, Phthalo Green Yellow Shade, Ultramarine Blue, Burnt Sienna, Burnt Umber. I'm losing my voice today. Carbon Black, Zinc White, Titanium White, and Unbleached Titanium. So fairly simple palette today. It's really just earth tones, and I really wasn't planning on doing much with the background, but if you wanted to get fancy with it and do, you know, clouds and whatever, blue sky, I say go for it. So I'm going to keep mine kind of neutral like what we've got in our photograph, but I think I'm going to add just a little bit touch of blue. So I'm going to use a little bit of ultramarine blue and just a little bit of burnt umber to gray it out a little bit. And you can see I'm just kind of grabbing a little off the side, the corner of the paint. I don't want to go straight into the middle of it, because that way I'll save this part back here and it'll stay looking good. It'll stay moist longer if I don't mess with it, and it won't get contaminated with the colors when I'm mixing. So I always kind of pull off a little bit and work on my palette away from where I have my original paints stored. Obviously, eventually we're going to work our way back to them, and by the end of the painting we'll probably have this whole area covered, but to start with, we're gonna start over here.
So if somebody does not have a Willow's blender,
yeah,
what could they use?
Just a stiff bristled brush would work, like a hog bristle brush will work. I'm not even sure that I'm going to use them. I tend to like to use them sometimes for fur and things, so I'm not sure if they'll work for the hair, but I just have them out just in case. I like this color. It's pretty.
I prefer
the smoky blue
KitchenAid blenders myself.
Oh, really? For what? For your blending?
Yeah, for blending.
Okay.
In case anybody cared. They probably didn't.
Nobody asked you.
I figured they wouldn't. That's why I just blurted it out.
Yeah, be careful. I'll get in trouble for being mean to you again.
Being oppressed.
Speaking of which, we got our first hate mail in the mail, in actual mail. Literally, they mailed us. I'm probably 90% sure I probably blocked this person. so that they couldn't communicate with me on social media. So they were like, I'll show you.
Mm-hmm.
Cracks me into this dedication.
Yep, I may frame it. Businesses sometimes frame their first dollar they made or something.
Right.
That might be.
Frame our first hate mail.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite interesting. Like, wow, they really don't like me. I don't know how to feel about that.
And the fun.
You just gotta laugh about it.
Yeah, and the funniest part was it made no sense.
No, I know.
So.
It was about something I don't even remember saying. So
Yeah,
I know. Shame on me.
I know.
Shame for shame. I don't know what I'm supposed to feel ashamed about, but that's okay.
Be like those people that walk around hitting themselves.
Lashing my back.
Exactly. Maybe get some old paintbrushes and hit yourself with them.
I think I need to. All right, so I'm going back in here and I'm just adding a little bit. This is still wet up here, so I just kind of covered everything. And I'm just going to go in right along that horizon line, just add a little bit of white. There's like a fence post in the picture right here, so I'm not going to put that in. So I'm just going to kind of try to figure out what would be there. I think that's probably part of his body, maybe. I don't know. I might just put the hair down really low right there. Or you could put the fence post in if you're worried about it. I think it'll be okay. I'm going to grab a little bit of green and a little bit of my yellow oxide. I'm going to mix it into my sky color. So I'm just going to put that down here. What are you saying?
Several commenters have already suggested to name this cow Justin.
Justin.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Justin Bieber.
Yeah, apparently, yeah, because I guess the haircut is.
Oh, does look. I love it. Yes, I think.
Justin, we know you're a big fan. You follow Angela. It was not us.
Justin Calber.
It's the people in. Justin Calber. Oh, man. Justin Beefer.
Oh, that's better. Okay. You win. You win.
All right, there you go.
That's good. Justin Beefer.
We crack ourselves up.
Say it without laughing. Oh my gosh. We're so immature. All right, I'm mixing like olive green here. I'm using like a little bit of the burnt sienna and some of this yellow and just going a little bit darker. I felt like that was a little too bright.
Now we're going to get hate mail from the cow farmers of America.
From the believers.
Believers?
Well, no, the Justin Bieber's fan clubs are called Believers, I think.
Yeah.
Believers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get the hate mail from the Believers and the cow folks. Everybody's offended.
Our P.O. box address is down below the video,
That's
so we'll just save you time.
That's our goal. How many people can we disenfranchise with our videos? Oh my gosh. We do our best. And now I'm going over that line there. You don't have to do this part if you don't want to, but there's just kind of a fuzzy edge there. It's kind of just lifting off that green. I may have to wait for it to dry and do this later. There we go. It's kind of blending a little bit of that white into that line of the green there. Just soften it up so it looks kind of blurry. Okay, that's good. So hi guys, hope you're having a great weekend. We've got a busy week this week.
Yeah.
Trying to get ready for going on vacation, seeing the little grandbaby Liam next week. So we're going to be doing 4 videos this week. 4, count them. So we're doing today. We're doing one tomorrow. We're doing one Tuesday and Thursday. And then Thursday, I'm also painting in my Thankful Art group, or Art Taking Flight group, for patrons. So,
yeah, I got to remember to leave
busy.
work early Thursday.
Busy week. Yeah, you do. Yeah, I don't think I can do this by myself. All right, I think I'm going to keep with this brush since it's such a large area on our... Well, actually, let's go ahead and switch to the smaller. Let's get the angle brush out here. And we'll go ahead and work on our antlers. No, horns. Sorry. Apologizing all over the place today. It's okay, Justin. All right, so I mixed the burnt umber and burnt sienna, about 50-50, and I'm going to start on my horn here. Right at the bottom, go real dark. Go about halfway, and then I'm going to grab some of the Unbleached Titanium. Blend it really quickly, it doesn't have to be fully mixed. And then I'm just going to pull from the opposite direction with this. While that first layer is still wet. If it dries on you, that's okay. You can still do this. You can just add a little bit more of the dark paint if that first layer is dry. I'm trying to kind of do that. They kind of have like a grain that sort of runs this way. We're not really seeing the tip of this horn, but it's going up off the canvas here. Oh shoot, I forgot to tell him how to draw it. Darn it. Uh-oh. I got so happy about painting it, I forgot to draw it. Let's draw it on paper. We'll let that horn dry. Sorry, guys. I was so excited about Justin's name. I forgot to show you how to draw him. Okay, there we go. Just trying to kind of blend that out. It's not wanting to blend. What's happening here is I have a little too much paint on my canvas and brush, so it's just kind of swishing around. It's not really blending much, but that's good enough, I think. Let me just go ahead and use what's on my brush over here. And then I'll show you how I drew him. And I think this would be fun on a really big canvas, like a long canvas, so you could fit both antlers on. You know, if you wanted to do that, I think that'd be really cool. I don't know why I didn't, because I have long canvases. That would have been fun, but oh well. Too late. So let's draw him. There's our iris from last month's project on Facebook. All right, so I'm going to turn it this way. It's not going to be to scale, obviously, but you'll get the idea. All right, so I figured out kind of the first thing I did was sort of look at my proportions on my reference photo, and the nose was right on the third. So I found the third, and I kind of marked where that was going to be, like sort of where I thought the nose might go. And it's pretty low to the canvas, so it's actually kind of down in this area here. And I figured it's going to, the eye is just on the inside of the halfway mark, and just above the halfway this way. So actually, let me look at it. It's actually kind of right spot on halfway right here. And then just a little bit above, like right in here. And I don't really map anything out definitely right off the bat. I'm just kind of trying to figure out my proportions, sort of how they're going to fit on the canvas. So this is going to be really close up. This is the top of the head. And it's, if you did a diagonal line from the edge of the nose out on either side, that's kind of the proportions of the face, and then where our antlers are going to fit in here somewhere. So start up at the corner and just angle it in, down. This kind of a sharp angle right here. Sort of comes straight out, and then it just goes whoop, and it narrows at the top and widens where it touches the head. So that, yeah, that looks about right there. And then this, in this case, we're kind of just looking straight on, so this one is right across. And it's about the same size as over here. Okay, so there's kind of our boundaries for our face. Now we can kind of start mapping it in a little bit more carefully. So I'm going to go back down to the mouth here and just sort of, I left a little space. Our reference photo goes right to the edge here. I brought it up just a little bit so that I had a little bit more working room here. So here's our boundaries of our mouth. It goes kind of flat here and then rounds up and in. And then just above the bottom area, there is the mouth opening right there. And then the lip, the bottom lip is right in there. And then if you angle from the lip out right here, there's like a little dark nose area. This is all kind of one piece, so it's just kind of blends from this to this. It's not like a separate part. It's just like hair starts right here. And then the nose dips right here and does kind of a heart shape, kind of rounds out at the top. And this kind of curves and connects right there. So there's the outside. And then your nostrils are going to be right in here. And they're going to take up most of this space right in here. They kind of are long oval shape, kind of kidney shape almost. They curve a little bit in right here, and then they round out right in here, and they go almost down to the bottom of the lip. Curve in. And just have them kind of come down about equal. It's a little bit tilted in our picture, so this one can be a little bit lower than this one over here. Okay, so there's our nose kind of shape, and of course this is, you know, like I said, it looks harder than it will be when we, not harder, but I mean the lines look harder than they will be. These are the only hard lines here. It's separated right there. This is the outline of the face right there. And then we can go up outside of it right here, and there's all this hair that comes out on either side. There's hair that's right here on top, comes down, and then this hair curves in. And if we follow this line really kind of from the nostril out just a little bit, it is right in here. I'm trying to see what the proportion is on the head. Almost. Mark's laughing at me because I'm doing my fingers on my reference photo on the computer. I don't have it printed out. Okay, so it looks like from here to here is the same distance from here to here. So from the top of the nose to the eyes is the same distance from the eyes to the top of the head. So that looks about right to be right in there. This is art. Okay, I'm not gonna.
Uh-oh, you forgot to turn it off.
Scientific measuring. Okay, so the eye shape is rounded out like this right here. And then at the bottom of it, it curves down and out right here. There's the bottom of the eyelid. And then the eyeball itself kind of sets in here out, sort of out on its own almost. It's cut off a little bit at the top here, but all of this right here is kind of the, I don't know, support system for the eye. And then There is a lid that kind of comes up and around. There's a little tear duct right there. And then the eyeball itself kind of has a, I think they have a horizontal pupil, kind of like a cat, like a horse does, or a goat, like that. It looks like in the picture, at least. And then there's a highlight on top of it, obviously. Then we're going to have some eyelashes coming down, and then there is a part of the head that comes out right here, and then all of this comes up. I probably need to move my antlers up if I'm going to have my eye that high. Actually, let's move the eye down here. I think it's a little too high. So let's do that again. Well, you get the idea. I'm going to move the eye down, but you get the idea of how to do the eye. So the hair comes down like this, and then the ears are just in here, right in here, just kind of right. I don't know, this might be in the right spot. Come out, is it? Okay. I think I just need to make this a little higher, or a little bit bigger. Right there, and then right, kind of right where that eyelid is, there's a little part of the face that comes down like this, and then all of this hair right here is here, and then this hair comes out and out like this. It just comes out like this. There's a little area right above the eye where this is blowing back, and this is all coming up over and then down this way. All of this. There's another ear here. And then all of this right here comes in. Okay, so there's our basic cow head. I think that's close enough. It might need to come down just a little bit, this eye, but and then the body is just kind of a vague shape in here, just doing like that. And I think I might do a little bit right there, and then we're done. All right, so it doesn't look really great on paper, but it'll look better once we get it painted in. So that's what I did on my canvas here before the show. Just going to save myself some time.
I'm over here thinking, how did my life get me to where I'm looking at pictures of cows' eyes on a Saturday?
You never thought you'd become part of my madness, did you?
No.
I reeled you in.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So underneath the hairs, we've got all these dark areas. So I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of the blue with the burnt umber and a little bit of black just to really darken it up. There we go. I'm just going to kind of, it's going to be really dark. I'm not going to put this everywhere, but I am going to kind of set it in where I'm seeing some of these darkest areas on our cow. And this will give us just a little bit of contrast to work with.
Oh, I missed a question. So what kind of pencil were you just using?
That was my Graph Gear pencil. And it's actually, I have it listed in my art materials on Amazon. It's the Graph Gear Pentel. And I'm not sure exactly which one it was. Let me see. 0.7. It's the blue one. HB lead. Graph Gear 1000.
Nice.
But I like it because you can click it and it brings the little point in so it doesn't get damaged. And then when you use it, it comes out, but the leads don't break that way. This is all metal all the way out here, so it's not, the leads don't wiggle around in it, holds it really tight. And then when you know, like if you have to put it in your pocket or something, it's not going to poke a hole through your pocket because you can retract it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Like you said, like there's a link down below the video to the Amazon store, and you'll find it in there.
Yes. Just doing a little bit of dark around the face here. And I'm just kind of trying to lay in sort of the directions that I'm seeing the hairs. Just very random. Don't do too much at this point that's solid. Like try to keep your lines pretty fuzzy on the ends, and that way you can cover them up easily. You won't have to, like this is a hard line here, you know, on the antlers, but, or on the on the horns, but you know, these edges here are all kind of fuzzed out, so that just will make it easier when we put other colors on top, other details on top, so we don't have to fight trying to cover up any lines. So let's go ahead and put in our shading on our mouth there. Yeah, let's put a little bit in the nostrils too while we're at it.
So I learned something. I don't know how I got this far into my life without knowing this.
Okay.
But that female cows can have horns too.
I think I knew that. I'm pretty sure I knew that.
So this could be either Justin or Justine.
Justine Bieber?
Beefer.
I like Beefer, sorry, Beefer. Get it right.
Yeah, come on.
Okay, there we go. And then I need to move my reference photo because it's covered on here. Sorry. Sorry, really quick here. Just having to find my reference photo. Okay. There we go. Sorry. Now I can see this half of his face. Okay. That's much better. I had our OBS that shows me what I'm painting on the screen. I have a little screen on one side of my monitor here, and then on the other side I have my reference photo. So I have, you know, the screen kind of split into two parts, and I had the reference photo filling the whole screen, and so I couldn't see it was covering part of it. Anyhow, sorry, you don't care. It's just I still need to do like a studio tour. I haven't done one in a long time. I did one when we first set up this new studio setup, but it was way before you were even helping me, I think, and before we had the soundboard and all that stuff. So I need to set up, we only had one camera. So what was that sound? All right, so mixing in a little bit of this dark brown, a little bit more burnt to umber with our unbleached titanium here. And I'm going to make kind of a medium brownish color. Add a little bit of that dark in here, but it's not quite as dark. Back in here, it's a little bit lighter. And I'm going to grab some white. And this part up here that's like right against that sky is really light colored. It almost disappears into that background. So I'm just gonna, and it's like fuzzy, so I'm just gonna let the edges be a little fluffy. Like that. put in some random. Here's these ones kind of come look like they flip up right here. And then there's a whole section of them that kind of comes down right here this way. There we go. I'm going a little bit darker than I want it to end up because I'll do another layer on top of this. Go a little bit darker right up underneath the chin there. He looks kind of skinny, doesn't he? So this post is covering the body on this side. So I'm just going to guesstimate where this body is over here. Okay, there we go. Now, this is one that's going to, it's going to kind of mess with your head as you're working on it because it's going to look worse before it looks better because it's just kind of a layering process. So just know that going in, it's going to kind of look weird. You look at mine, it does not look like a cow right now. Like it doesn't look good at all. So if yours just looks like this, then you're doing it right. Right? So just don't panic when you get to this point. I think this is one of the things that I see a lot of beginners, when you're first starting to paint, get a little bit intimidated. And when things don't look exactly like your brain starts telling you, oh, no, that's not right. That's not right. When you get to this point, you just got to trust that process. Trust that I'll work you through all these layers that we're going to be doing. But to start with, it's going to look really weird. So just going around this with a little bit lighter color.
So you don't want to use this as your thumbnail?
Right. Yeah.
Learn to paint a cow.
Done.
Look at that.
This is what I'm going to show you. All right. So going in here. This brush holds so much paint, it's hard to get it to switch gears sometimes. So doing a medium color. So I've got the dark, medium, light here. So I'm going in with a little bit more medium brown here. It's got a little bit of that burnt sienna in it, just to give it a little bit more reddish tone. And I'm just going to go in here and kind of in between try to start filling in some of these white areas on our cow. And we're going to do a lot of, like really light colored hairs over the top of this. So this does not have to look really good. I'm just trying to kind of keep the direction of the hair right so that it just makes it easier when we do our top layers. We've already got that kind of foundation of direction going on. So it's sweeping up over the eye this way. And then when it gets about even with the eye, it starts to drop. And then sweep this way. Down toward the nose. And then there's hair that comes all the way down here. And this comes around like that. Okay. It's starting to come together a little bit. This is helping, I think. Making it like, okay, I see what you're going for here. And these little hairs are sticking straight up, so I'm just Use that edge of my brush to kind of draw those in. Right there. And then up and over. Just sweeping them out. This way. Just trying to get it all covered. And let's go ahead and finish filling in the ear too while we're at it. So the ear shape is just kind of that classic teardrop ear shape, really. A rounded tip and then widening as it goes towards the head right there. Let's do a little bit on this one. A little lighter color around the outside of the ear. There we go. And just look at your ears and make sure that they're kind of lined up somewhat. I mean, his head is just slightly tilted, so this one's just slightly higher than this one. I'm going to grab some of that dark color and put it right in here on the horn. And do the same thing over here. And then this comes out a little bit more right here. I'm just going to put dark around the muzzle there just to give a little shadow, and then we'll grab our lighter color and blend it up over. Okay. So let's clean out our brush. I'm going to make this part a little bit wider too. So I'm going to get a little bit smaller brush now. This is the 3/8 inch angle. And let's do the nose here. So I'm going to use Burnt Umber and Blue. Ultramarine Blue and Burnt Umber to create that gray color. A little bit more brown than blue. There we go. And I'm going to use some Unbleached Titanium to lighten it up. I'm just going to go ahead and cover this whole area here, and then we'll put the hair on top of this color for the part around the mouth. So it's just slightly angled in. So if you kind of go from the edge of the eye out, this is coming out a little bit more like right in here. Again, it's going to look worse before it looks better, so just going to know that going in. Looks really weird right now. We'll have a highlight right across the nose right here, so we can put that in. And then there'll be some sort of hairs all in this area. There we go. So, getting there. Pull up a body of a cow. Can you find another cow that doesn't have a fence post right here, just so I can see what the...
I'm on it.
Thanks. What this side of the body should look like. I'm trying to mix up a little bit of that blue for the sky color. I didn't come in quite far enough on... on this over here. Bringing some of that sky color in. Yeah, but it's close, but he's kind of turned. He's turned to the side here, so I need to kind of side view. The face is looking at me, but the body's turned to the side. Right. Yes, we need the blue steel version. And this is probably not going to match up to this guy over here. I can already tell it's not. So I'm going to grab some white. And just dab in this color in just a few places. So this is what you do if if you're trying to blend in a color and you're introducing a color and it's obviously not, the exact same color as my sky. I don't have to go and cover my whole sky again. What I can do is just kind of lay some of this color in some other areas of my sky. Blend it into where, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, so it's actually, yeah, so he is, it's close. So really we could have put his body down here, but I don't think it's gonna be okay. I think it'll be okay where it's at. Thank you, honey. All right, I'm gonna get a bigger brush here. A little bit more blue, a little bit more of that white. I'm just going to go over my sky. It really needs a second coat anyway, so this is fine. Just add this color. this is where we can kind of blend out our green too if we need to. I'm going to go right on top of my body of him right there. Right up over that hair. That'll blend it, make it look softer. We'll put other colors on top, but these under layers will have this kind of softness, so it'll make them look blurry and out of focus and a little bit farther away by putting this sky color on top. Okay. Yeah, better. Grab some of that white. Do the white right here. Having a little bit of lighter color right at the horizon line is a really easy way of giving your painting an illusion of depth. Even though our sky is almost all kind of the same color, just this little bit of lightness down here will give it just that much more feeling of depth. Just blend that into my blue. Okay, there we go.
Were you using a fluid medium
No.
blending? No, just all heavy body paints.
Yeah. And the heavy body paints, you could have done that, but they give you a little bit extra time to work with if you put them on fairly thickly. I was working, wet into wet, or wet onto dry here, but I wasn't, like when I was blending, it was wet and wet because it was wet underneath. So like I put the blue down first and then I put that light white on top of the horizon here. So they blended together while they were wet. All right, so now I'm just going to go in here and I got a little bit of watered down paint, just slightly watered down. And I'm just going to scrub in here on my, and this is just that medium brown color that we were using. Any white areas that I'm seeing in my canvas, just filling those in. So I don't want to have to do this later when I have my upper layers on. This will be easier to do it now. Okay. Very good. I like how he's coming along. He's starting to, he's starting to make sense to me a little bit. All right. So let's go back to that smaller brush again. A little bit of unbleached titanium, a little bit of white. Let me grab a little yellow oxide. Let's make it a little bit more on the yellow side. I'm going to go up over the eye here with my eyelid. And right below it, kind of around it. It's going to look really weird at first, but that's all right. And then I'm going to grab some of that brown and just blend back over that edge just a little bit. Just tapping around to soften that up and blend it in a little bit. Grab that dark color, and dark color is right up against the eyeball right there. Okay. So let's grab a little bit more of that light color. And I've got a little bit of the dark on there, so it's kind of blended it out just a little bit. Starting to kind of put some of our hairs in here. Get some of the darker. Go back over where those hairs kind of start to soften that transition up. These go all the way down to the body here. Grab some of that lighter color. Sweep it down from the eye and out.
So we got a question. Mm-hmm. They would like to know if there's what is the most important thing to know when painting animals?
I don't know. I mean, I think if you get the eyes right, that's a big part of it. So I think that, you know, I would pay really close attention to that. Pay attention to the proportions of the heads. But there's so many different ways of doing animals. You know, you can do it like we're doing a little bit more like impressionist style today, kind of like what we did with the horse that we did last year that had, you know, bigger brush strokes, not as fine, you know, like we're not, you know, trying to put in every single little hair here. We're just kind of getting the direction of the hair. So I think layering is really important with anytime you're doing any kind of hairs or furs or anything like that, is just the tendency is we see the top layers. So we tend to do those first, or we we go straight in for the top layers, and we end up with a very flat looking hairs. So, you know, see how dark we went. And if you look at our reference photo, there are those little pops of dark. I wish I'd printed this out, but I didn't. But there's little pops of dark in between these hairs where there's no light getting down in there, and that's what gives it the depth and the look we're needing, you know, for this. So I think that that's one thing that I would just you know, do it in layers. Don't do the light colors first. Go really, really dark, and then gradually build up your lighter colors on top of it and leave some of the dark showing through. I'm going to use some of this gray that's down in here and the nose up in here and the hairs. So I'm going to... And don't be afraid of like playing with the colors. You know, there's colors in if you really zoom in on a photograph and look, there's all kinds of colors going on. You know, we don't see, you know, our eye interprets them as brown, but there's so many tones of browns and grays and things going on in this guy's hair. It's not just light brown, you know, so kind of training yourself to sort of see the colors that are unusual will kind of help too. All right, so adding this gray around here. Starting to come together. So I went a little light right here, so I need a little bit of dark right here. Right where this flips. Right here. Yeah, I like it. It's looking good. All right, so let's use this Unbleached Titanium. Some white. And do some highlights on the fur down in here. And this shouldn't be, it's not fur, I guess it's hairs, right? It should be fairly subtle, so I want to keep it close to what we've already got going on here. I don't want a lot of contrast with this. Having really subtle color changes on this will help keep it look blurry. Having subtle color changes between the background and then also on it itself. There's a little bit of darkness in a couple places, but for the most part it's fairly light. Get that darker color that was there and just kind of tap over. All right, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Put a few brighter spots in here. There we go. Cute. And then I think I still need that kind of light area. It's actually kind of just right under the eye. I was putting a little too close to the body there. It's like more out into there. And just blend out this little bit right here, this transition right here, a little bit. There we go. All right, I'm going to grab some of the darker burnt umber here. Add that in here. What are you laughing at?
Somebody said that you're very talented because you emailed her while you're painting.
Oh, really? Did Spencer send out the email blast?
I don't know.
That he was supposed to send out last week?
I'm not sure what kind of email they got.
If it has the barn tutorial, it's from last week. It's supposed to come out last week. Be curious to know what. Did she say it's the barn tutorial?
We gotta wait for the delay.
Oh, okay.
Patience, grasshopper.
Okay, going in with that kind of darker version of that nose color here that we saved over here, that kind of brownish blue mix.
It's from Patreon.
Oh, Patreon. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's the bonus video stuff.
Oh, for tomorrow.
For tomorrow. Yep.
Nice.
Bonus video link. And for those who have hated Patreon's search capabilities like me, I have created a master traceables list. So I haven't posted it for the $1 people yet, but the $5 people, you should have that link in that in the post with the bonus video information. I still have to post one for the $1 folks, but it has all of the traceables that I've ever made, even the ones that were public, not just the ones from 2019 and on. So going back in with this dark color here, just adding some more layers. Before we do our light colors, I want to make sure I have it nice and dark in some of these areas, so that's what I'm doing now. Just going back in and adding in some of these really dark spots. So it should make, hopefully I won't get 1,000 emails a week asking how to find stuff anymore. Like 90% of my Patreon correspondence was, how do I find this? How do I find that? And I'm like, I feel your pain. They did not make it easy, so we just we're just making our own. We're not even using Patreon. We're just send you somewhere else to find it. I made a list, and we'll just add to it. So doing these light wispy, just keeping the brush strokes. What I'm doing when I'm doing these like light wispy brush strokes is just setting my brush down and flicking it. I'm not pulling it. I'm just setting it down and kind of flicking it out so that I get this broken edge that I'm looking for. I want some of that blue from the sky back in here. I really like what that's doing right there. I like having that blue over the top of it. I think it really looks cool. I'm going to be happy with that. I think I need to bring this dark color down a little bit on the cheek right here. It kind of sweeps down like this. There we go. Oh, he's a handsome guy. Alrighty, let's do some work on the nose. So I'm going to start going in with a little bit smaller brush. Let's go ahead and use the round brush. This is number 2 round in the long handled. I'm going to grab some black. Oh, we're only an hour. That's not too bad. We made good progress on this guy. When we do the last layers of the hair, it's going to go like that. So now we're just getting all of the final things in before we do that. So we've got the body fairly done. I might add a little bit to him, but I think it's mostly done. And I'm going to work on the eye now. Clean up that edge there. And I added water to my black, and that makes it easier to work with a round brush. Always want to do that whenever you're working with a round brush, is add a little bit more water to your paint. You'll have a lot easier time of it. Okay, so kind of just went in and darkened up around the outside of that eye. Let's grab some burnt sienna and yellow oxide. We'll add our eyeball color in with that. Go ahead and zoom in, hon, because I feel like it's too far away for them to really see what I'm doing here. There we go.
Oh, they'll be dreaming about this view tonight.
Creepy. Creepy cow.
The cow eye sees everything.
There's a little bit of the light color that kind of comes around right here. And this comes out all the way out here, and then we're going to have these hairs come out. I think this is done enough that I can, well, actually, let's use the liner brush so we have really thin eyelashes. I'm going to use the Unbleached Titanium and Titanium White. A little bit of both. Got a water droplet on there. Again, I need to bring this dark area down right here. That whole area. It comes in from like right above that lid and down. There we go. I think that's good. This is going to be outside of the eyeball. It's going to be right in here. I'll go ahead and kind of outline it a little bit there so we can see where the eyeball is going to be. And then there's a little shadow right up in here in this lid. So I'm going to do a little dark color right above the eyelashes where they come out. That will push them back up into the eyelid, make them look like they're attached and not just kind of floating. And then grab that black again. And come right up underneath them with the black. All right, so there's that. I'm going to grab some of this gray color here, a little bit of white. Put that tear duct in right there. This brush is a little floppy for this. It's flopping around on me. Put a little highlight right on the inside of the lid. going to put that pupil in right in here. This half of the eye is really dark, so there we go. Get a little bit more of that yellow oxide. Add a little bit more of that yellow oxide down here. And then we'll let this dry completely and we'll finish glazing it. But I want it a little bit brighter right there. There we go. Okay, let's work on our nose. I'm going to push that up so you can see the nose. And I'm going to use the number 2 round for this. Grab some of that Zinc White. I'm going to dab it over the nose right here to give it a little shine, but the Zinc White will show through. It'll be a little bit more subtle highlight than using titanium white. A little bit more natural looking. And then use it on the inside of the nostrils. And I probably need to define those nostrils a little bit better here in a minute. There and there. Let's grab some black. Do nice and dark black right there. So put down my color dark, and then I just wiped off most of the paint off my brush here, and I'm just going to push it around and keep removing more of it until I get it softened so that I can get kind of a soft edge. Because it's dark right in here, but then it blends out into the rest of the nose. So I'm going to grab some of that Zinc White and just kind of go along that edge right there with it, where we want it kind of glossy looking, wet looking. Just tap along that edge between that black and the white. And we've got that gray underneath, so this transparent qualities of the Zinc White will kind of help us too, so we'll be able to see that gray underneath. This is the first time I've done it this way, but I think I'm going to start using the Zinc White more for this kind of highlighting effects, because I think it really is a little bit more subtle. You know, it kind of helps bring a little bit more subtlety into our painting. So here again, we'll put it in fairly thick with paint and wipe my brush off. And just use it around the edges, just to kind of push it and blend it in, soften those edges. And then there's a little bit of highlight even on the inside right here. Just a little bit. Same thing here. Yeah. Looks good. So let's grab some more of this gray. I need to spray that so it doesn't dry on me. Let's grab a little bit of yellow oxide. Mix that with my gray. Use that down in here a little bit. A little bit of yellow. Add a little bit of this burnt sienna too. And we're just kind of lightly almost glazing here. Just adding a little extra colors onto there. Use some of that Zinc White mixed with the gray, just right over the top of this part of the nose here. There is highlights that kind of come around. These have a little bit more brown, so adding a little bit of that. A little bit of black right in here. There's some really dark area right above the nose. Mash that around. Wiped off my brush and just pushing that dark color in, blending it in. There we go. The more contrast you have like that, the more deeper the nose will look. It'll come popping out at us even more. We have a really nice dark area right back here, and then this really bright area right here. That's what brings that nose forward. How you doing, hun?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good.
You're just zipping along there.
Yeah. Making good progress on it. Go a little bit medium color right here. Just right on the inside of the nostrils. I'm really kind of putting a lot of detail in here, but I don't need to do that. You put as much detail as you want in yours. I am losing my voice. This is not a good... I'm going to be having a hard time tomorrow for that bonus video. We're going to grab the white now. I'm going to do just a little bit of... It's way too bright. Wipe my brush off. Keep on wiping. Keep on wiping. There we go. Maybe a little bit more. Let's do that one more time. This time I'm going to try to wipe my brush a little bit more before I go in here. There we go. Just adding little bits of the brighter white in just a few little places. Just bring it up even more. Really make it look bright. That's the titanium white. So you can see how I have to really be careful. I like used very little of it because it can really take over pretty quickly. All right, and then let's grab some black. We'll go back in here and put the mouth in, a little bit darker again. Kind of got a downward slant to it. Wipe my brush off and then go above it and below it. Wipe my brush. Just push those edges around a little bit. Soften them up. And then I think this is where I'm going to switch to this the Deerfoot stippler, or not a Deerfoot stippler, the Willow's blender, or something similar that's kind of a scruffy brush. So we'll start using it on the hairs around the mouth here. I'm using Unbleached Titanium, and I tapped in a little bit of the darker brown there. And just going to start right about in here. Just tapping in. I want to start a little bit darker, just so there's not such a bright color on top. Yeah, it's better. We'll start a more subtle, work our way to that brighter color. So it's coming on top. And then comes around the mouth here. And leave a little bit of that dark for the lip right there. So there's like a little lip area right there. But then underneath you're going to have these hairs. Tap, tap, tap. And the more pouty mouth you want it, the more you shape it in. You can shape it however you want. There we go.
Totally unrelated.
Uh-huh.
That dolphin looks like a picture from here.
A photograph.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Back to our regular scheduled show.
That's great. All right, so I'm going to make sure that I have like a little highlight along the top of that lip too, right here. So just put a little color right there. And a little bit right up here too. Even though it's dark, there's a little kind of cast light happening right there. Gonna grab some burnt umber, just do a dark, make sure I have like a little shadow right there coming down. Wet my brush, tap that out. Okay, there we go. And then we've got a really dark area right in here that we want to make sure we have in here. Let's use a bigger one here. You could try this with the fan brush too. I'm going to go in here and do some highlights. Very light touches here just to get, trying not to make a solid line there. It's kind of hard because I want to see some of that dark from the underside through. All right, so what we'll do is we'll glaze over the top of this because it's way too bright, whatever. Right now, it doesn't look really good.
So, did you watch that whole Winnie the Pooh show?
I did.
That was pretty cute.
It was Christopher Robin. It's called Christopher Robin.
What was that one? So dark and rainy here. I wish Eeyore was here.
Yeah, he's like, it's so gloomy and sad. I wish Eeyore was here to enjoy it. It was raining. I loved it. All right, so just going in here and making subtle changes. A little bit dark here, a little bit light there. Just kind of depending on where I need it. It's kind of almost glazing. I'm kind of just tapping over this paint. Is a little bit wet still, so it's getting a little sticky. I need to stop here soon, so let it dry all the way. This needs to come out a little bit more. So it does this kind of box shape here. All right, we're getting there. It's a little bit closer. I think that needs a little more help, but we'll let it dry. So let's go ahead and put more of our hairs up in here. And zoom out for me, hun. Use a little bit of the yellow. I guess I didn't use the cadmium yellow at all. Didn't need it. Make a blonde here. Didn't use the cadmium red either. I thought I might add a little bit of the reds and yellows into the cow, but yeah, let's put a little tiny bit of yellow in there. I'm going to do it with this brush. I need a color that's kind of in between because this is too bright too quickly. It's like too different from what we've got going on. So I'm going to create kind of a lighter version or darker version of that. A little bit more of the burnt umber. Yeah, there we go. So we did a little bit of this kind of medium color, but I didn't have any over here, so I'm going to do a little bit of it just so that it's not like going from black to blonde in one step. Go with some of this darker color right in here. And then get some of the medium light color. There we go. Let's use this color and this brush on our antlers too, or our horns, sorry. Keep saying that. Sorry, cow. Sorry, Justin. I know you're not a deer. Okay, so just kind of scrubbing in a little bit of detail there, grabbing a little bit more of the burnt sienna, burnt umber, and going back over this way. There we go. Grab some of that lighter color. Let's add it around the tip of the ear here. And I'm using the edge of my brush here. I'm holding it on its end. So I'm getting this flat bladed shape. So if you're going to use like a scruffy brush of some sort, like a hog bristle, I would probably use either a flat or a round one, but one that you can get a fairly straight line with. Mix up some more of this burnt umber and blue-gray color.
Which brush did you grab there?
This is the Willow's blender. I've been using it for a while. Did I sneak it in on you?
No, but I guess I misunderstood the question. So is that brush a type of rake brush?
No, it's not really. It's more of a foliage brush. It's more, but it does have those kind of uneven edges like a rake does. So, but it's stiffer than a rake. If I was using a rake brush, I would have to thin down my paint quite a bit. But this way I can go in with the thicker paint and still get the kind of raked brush effect. But it's more it's stiffer. Okay, can't seem to stop messing with that. All right, stop. Stop it. Some highlights up in here, some highlights around the ear. Here, there's kind of flyaway hairs going every different direction here. The nice thing about him is he's so kind of shaggy and messy. As long as you kind of hide the evidence of where your hairs kind of start, you can really kind of put these hair, you know, it's really pretty easy. So if you have a really obvious spot where it looks like it's just kind of sitting on top of nothing, grab a little bit of a darker color and just blend it back over the top of where that color starts, and then you'll have this kind of seamless looking. So I can do it over here where I've got all these ones that are kind of coming out of nowhere. Then they'll sort of be attached to something and they'll blend in a little bit. So let's do that again. We'll do it up along here. So we'll do this whole row of kind of really bright sections coming up over. And then if I've got any areas like this that, you know, kind of doesn't look like it's fitting in, grab your color that's sort of next to it and just kind of put a little bit over the top of where it starts. But if you do your layering, kind of, you know, do this part first and then work these layers that are going to be over the top. So if you do these layers first and then put these layers on top, then you shouldn't have to mess with this, and it'll actually kind of hide these edges of this. So if you kind of stack it right, you should be able to, you know, do these ones over here, and then by the time I get these layers over here done, it will cover the evidence of where any of these kind of started and stopped. So hopefully that makes sense. Let's get a little bit more of the dark up in here. Some of them are longer than others. Oh yeah, it's cute. Now you can see why we did those darks, because now we've got a really easy time of it doing these lighter colors. We've got all this nice depth in there. What's going on, huh? What's going on?
The union says I get a break every once in a while.
Oh, okay.
So.
Coffee rake.
Mm-hmm. I was going to get some chips, but didn't want to make too much noise.
And then I would want some.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this has got that gray in here, kind of down in here. So I've got white here, and I'm adding it. So this will be just a little bit different than the kind of yellowy color that we were just using. A little bit brighter. So this will be a little bit more strategery going on here, figuring out where we want these really bright ones to go. I'm just using very light touches here. I have quite a bit of paint on my brush, but I've got it pressed flat, so I'm getting good edges. If you kind of rock it back and forth this way, I can kind of get a soft edge on both sides too.
I'm glad we didn't name this cow Alexa.
You're mean. You were mean. You're just doing that to mess with people now.
What? I don't know what you're talking about. So what are we painting tomorrow for the Patreon bonus show?
We're painting a Turkish vase with tangerines, or Turkish pitcher, kind of. It's really cool. Very dark, kind of fruity. It's really pretty. It's got dark vase, dark kind of bronzy black finish on it, and then the pop of orange tangerine's about the only color in it. It's going to be really pretty contrast. And if you want to see what it looks like, you can go to my channel page. I think it's on the Instagram too, but if you're already here on YouTube, just click on my name or my photo. It'll take you to my channel homepage, and you can see go to the community tab at the top, and it'll show you all the upcoming videos for this month, and it's in there listed.
No,
so just wanted to remind people too that we're not going to be here next weekend. So we will have a special show on Thursday night instead of our regular Saturday show. So just hopefully we'll get a few people who can watch with us on a Thursday. And then we will not be back until the following Saturday.
The 23rd.
Yep.
So just in case people are watching this in the distant future, not sure if those links would still be there.
Yeah. Oh, they will, but yeah, that's true. I'm out of that.
Maybe different links.
Right. Okay. I don't want to do too much more, too, because I don't want to lose all my good contrast. Go back in with a little bit of the dark color. A little bit of that back in. This is kind of like my bird's nest paintings where you could kind of do several layers and glaze and then do more layers and glaze. So you've got good like overlapping of the colors and hairs and stuff. And if at any point you get to the point where you're like, yeah, I like that, then I would just stop. You don't have to do as many layers as I'm doing. Just do whatever makes you happy with your painting. Get some green crumblies in there. Okay, so I think we can, let's work on our antlers. We can let that set and we'll glaze it. Horns, sorry, thank you. You're going to be my...
Yep, I'm going to have to...
Kind of like Christmas.
Dub it in.
Horns.
Hair. Horns.
Okay, got blue. That blue-gray color. Darker here. I'm keeping with this brush because it's working pretty well for me. Get some of the darker version of it. There we go. Some of that dark brown. Yeah, just kind of dry brushing this almost here, and then I'm going to grab my highlight color, which is the same color as my hair. He's all kind of pretty much monochromatic. Go along the top edge right there. And just blend it in. Over the top, letting it kind of be streaky and a little bit imperfect. Get some of the lighter color for up in here. There we go. Let's do the same thing over here. Yeah, like that. Okay. Kind of blue-gray. Blend.
There's at least one other person that thought it was Friday.
Not yesterday? Or today?
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
You're not alone.
Thanks. Yeah, I woke up this morning at like 6 in the morning and was like, why are you still here? He's like, it's Saturday. I'm doing the bills. Oh. Well, then I'm going back to bed. Very good. Carry on.
Just checking.
Yep. I thought you were Spencer doing his homework. I was like, why are you doing your homework before school? Like, you know, you have a paper. Like, you should have been doing this. I was ready to get on to him. Like, you should have been doing that last night.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
No. It's always a good feeling, though, when you wake up on the weekend and you realize it's the weekend.
But I got some bad news for you, babe.
What?
We're going to turn our clocks ahead 1 hour tonight.
No. So we lose an hour?
I guess you could put it that way.
Yeah. That's all right.
So just a reminder for those, and this is, you know, a serious note.
Yeah.
In the rest of the world, because the United States changes time differently than the rest of the world. So double check.
That's true. Yeah, double check the time on the actual video on YouTube.
Right.
It will tell you.
Yeah, for tomorrow's Patreon video, make sure you're on the right time.
Yeah, that's a good point, hon. I didn't think about that, but you're right. Even parts of the U.S. don't change their time the same as us, like Mountain Time. I don't think Arizona does daylight savings.
Correct.
So.
The good thing is nowadays all the smart devices do it themselves.
Yes, it is nice. Okay, so just going back in, adding a little bit of the dark around there, and then I want to glaze around the mouth. So grab a little bit of that gray color. That was the undertone. And you can get glazing liquid. I'm just going to use a little bit of water. And I'm just going to kind of glaze over the top of some of this light colored hairs there to kind of blend it, soften it up. See how it softens it quite a bit there. And then I think I'm going to grab a little round and just add a few little dabs. Individually, this will just add a little bit of highlight here and there. There we go. And let's add a little bit of glazing down here on the lip too. Just to kind of grab a little bit of that black and just go back in here with that and define that mouth a little bit more. All right, So I've got some hairs like right here that don't look like they're integrated into anything. So I'm just going to grab some color here. And just go over the top of where they end. Grab some more light color here. There we go. Just a few highlights in a few places. Oh, he's pretty. I like him. So making sure that I have good hair kind of around the mouth and face here. Cupping it. Okay, let's do the eye. And I might want to glaze just a little tiny bit on it, but for the most part we're done. I'm going to grab the 1/4 inch angle. We actually used all of our brushes today. I'm proud of myself.
But not all your paints.
True. True that. Alright, so some success. I'm going to do some hairs kind of coming up here. Just some.
I zoomed in for the eye there.
Oh, that's fine. I was still on camera. I don't think I like those. Alright, so I'm going to grab the Zinc White with this angle brush here. Tiny, tiny, tiny bit of blue. I like to add a little bit of blue when I do the eye highlight. It just kind of, I think it looks good. And I'm going to go right up here. You can zoom back in now, hon. Start up here and then curve it down and around just a little bit right there. And then I'm going to use this round brush here and some of my gray, maybe a little bit of the burnt umber or burnt sienna, and right here just put a little bit of the lighter color so it shows up. Put a bit of kind of muscle there or whatever that is that's holding the eye. It's grabbing my hand. There we go. What are you laughing at?
Well, they're coming up with some new names here.
Oh no.
So I guess could be John Bon Jovi. version, of course.
Right. He does have he could have a mullet. We don't know. He's got a reverse mullet. Party's in the front. All right, and then I want to, there's a little bit of shadow at the top of the eye, kind of. Right there. Make sure I have a dark right there. Okay, and then let's put a little bit more of this Zinc White right in here where it curves down. With some of the burnt sienna color here, just kind of toning down around that pupil there, just a little bit. Shadowing on top of that lid, just to kind of set it back in the head a little bit. And I'm going to get some white, titanium white, brighter titanium white, and do a little highlight right up here. Maybe not that much. Just right there. All right, zoom out. Let me see how I like that. I'm not sure. Yeah, looks all right. I think I might bring this eyelid in just a little bit right here. And I'm going to grab some burnt umber, kind of right on the tip of this brush here. I'm just going to go along this side of the eyeball and shadow over that edge there to set the whole thing kind of back. Grab a little bit of the black, add a little bit more of that black right where it's the darkest. Go. All right, now I'm going to just use my angle brush here with a little bit of this burnt umber color, of our shadow color. Got a little bit of that blue in it, just a little bit. And I'm just going to go through and use a very watered down version of this color. Going to glaze in. This is where you could add tints of, like if we wanted to add a little bit of the reddish, we could grab a little bit of that. Mix it with our brown. So we have a little bit of a brighter color in a couple spots.
Maybe some blues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Purples.
Let's do a little bit of blue.
Maybe it's kind of like a punk rocker cow. So I'm guessing that there's like a fan just off camera blowing the hair to the side like that for
like J-Lo.
like J-Lo.
Still, this is Cowlo. What?
Callow.
Or Beyonce. What would be a good Beyonce cow name? Muonce.
Muonce, Bovance.
Bovance. I like Bovance. Okay, so glazing in with some black, just in our darkest areas here. Giving it some depth. I like Muonce. Willow.
Yeah, what show was that? What artists were they?
They were doing Elvis.
Elvis, that's right.
Yeah.
All these famous people, all these famous musicians,
Elvis
and they
tribute.
were all doing songs and.
J-Lo came out with the wind machine.
Yeah.
Just I couldn't do it. She cracked me up so bad. I'm sure it's in her contract. She goes everywhere with it. So I think I need a wind machine if I ever, do like live teaching. I think I'm going to put that in my contract.
Okay, here, I'll turn your fan on for you.
That's true, I do have a fan.
I don't know if it's plugged in though.
It's not working. There it is.
Goes.
Okay, so we did the no.
Your hair is just blowing around beautifully.
Yeah, I know. I probably looked good.
Mm-hmm.
Make my paints dry out. All right, I think we're just about done. I feel like he's so cute. Oh, yeah, some of these over here. What did I do over here? I think I was putting my towel down. I was holding my towel on it, so I got this whole area all messed up. Let's see if I can get it off. Yeah, that paint. That's why you don't put acrylics next to each other, face to face, because they stick. So that paint that was on my towel there came off, and even if it was dry, stuck to my canvas. Okay. So just doing some of these flyaway pieces here now. Making sure we got good Bieberlicious hair here.
It could be Simon Cowell. Cat typed it just as I was saying it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, I think I'm about there. I should have messed with that horn because I liked it the way it was. Come on. Got none of my dark color left. Got no burnt umber left. I know where to get it though. I know where to get more. I'm just being lazy.
Use some of that orange or yellow there. Just use it since you haven't used stitches.
Yeah. Okay, don't do this. Just leave it alone. So you don't have to go through this. Please. Do not do what I'm doing right now. Unless you need to, but I decided I needed a darker shadow right here. And then
if you don't like yourself, do this part.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna torture yourself. All right. Yeah, I think that's good. I don't want to stop. He's fun. Yeah, I could have gone a little bit. Like, I can see where I can, I could like glaze with a little bit of the burnt sienna, add a little bit of that, or even a little bit of the yellow oxide with the burnt sienna. Add a little bit warmer browns in a few places. See. It doesn't have to be everywhere, just in a few little spots. And then I can use my towel to dab off. It'll take off the, the brightest areas and leave a little bit of that undercolor showing through. Kind of blends it in a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I like that a little bit better. Just a little bit more of that golden tone. Add a little bit of it down here. Let me add a little bit of the darker right along there. Glazing it in. Glazing is just thinning out the paint, so it's just very transparent layer. Just allows you to create layers where you can see the undercolors through. It gives a really cool effect. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. I need to fix my sky over here though, because I took off the paint.
We did that on purpose just to show people what to do. We just make it look like an accident.
I like to do this every show just to challenge myself. It happened almost every show lately. Just a touch of brown here. And if it's exactly the same color as your sky, then it's going to dry darker. So go a little bit lighter. So it should go on looking a little bit brighter than your sky. And then when it dries, it'll be about the right color. Tip for the day.
Pro tip.
Mm-hmm. All right, I think we're good. Oh, he's cute. I like him. I'm gonna sign it.
Very nice.
Yeah, I liked him. He was fun. I think his eye could have been maybe a little bit bigger. Like, I think I'm gonna move his lid down just a little bit. Looking at this, move it down just a little bit. Right there. I'm going to sign it. And we've got a few thank yous to shout outs for folks.
Yes, we do.
Before we go.
We've had a busy mail week.
We have. We got all kinds of goodies. All right, so thanks for stopping by for this. Now we're going to go to the
commercials.
Good stuff. So if you do, one thing I didn't mention, if you do want the traceable for this, I have it available on patreon.com/AngelaFineArt. And it's $1 a month for all of the traceables. And like I said, we'll be having a file to make it a little bit easier for you to find those in the future. So look for that. And yeah.
And the show tomorrow.
And the show tomorrow for the $5 and up folks.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're part of that, you can check it out on Patreon. Still time to join us. And you get to watch all the old bonus videos too. We've got 14 old bonus paintings.
Nice.
All right, so we got some magnets here. These are the magnets for Mark. Hashtag magnets for Mark. We started it in our Thankful Art group because I was wanting to get rid of Mark's box fort in the corner there. So I got him some like professional, nice sound equipment, sound boards, and they are all black. So these are gonna go on them so that they look really nice. They're metallics, yeah. Got all fun. These magnets. These ones are really fun. We'll have to cut them out. They're little pieces so we can make stickman ninjas and karate and high five. So that'll be awesome. So this was from Tess. We didn't get a last name from Tess. So Tess, if you're out there,
she was in the chat earlier.
Oops, the Portland one in front so we're really wanting ones that say where you're from, that way, or something like these something special to us. So these are from Patty Nabelski. I think these ones, Patty's in the running for the favorites so far. Either that or Lois Hastings here with her tank ones. She sent to you with the London and a tank, which is awesome. And then Pennsylvania was from Deborah Ware. Sanibel Island, Florida, from Karen Stone. Indiana, we just got this one today. Ashley Harris. And then we got 3 from, Gloria Jean Peterson wins the prize for the most in one. Colorado and donkeys. And the American flag one with the eagle, which is awesome. Very badass. Very Jordan. Our son Jordan would love it. He collects, he's in the armed military and also collects. And then these were made from Deb McGowan, Deb and Dennis. Look at, she's got, it's Stick Nanny, Stick Girl. She's got flowers in her hair. It's awesome. They're earrings. I'm not going to wear them because I'm afraid I'm going to break the leaves off. They're really delicate, but they're so cute. Well, I don't know. I mean, they've got hair and everything. They're made out of actual sticks. These are awesome.
That is
Thank you, Deb.
incredible.
So, yep. Yay, we got a lot of fun stuff today, or this week. And we also got a Mod Podge vase from Karen Parsich and a nice card from Marilyn Eckel. And a tank towel from Pat Lee. Don't have it with me right here, but it's really cool. It's got a tank. I think we mentioned it last week too. And then, yeah. All right. So thanks, guys, for sending our magnets. Mark's already got like one of his panels almost all covered. You can see how much this all covered. So it's pretty awesome.
It's
We've got a
working its
good
way.
start on it. I know. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait. So if you want to send those, we've got the P.O. Box down in the description. It's P.O. Box 12171, Russellville, Arkansas. A-R, not A-K, or A-Z. A-R. And, 72812. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching today. Our little cow turned out cute. And I really like these soft colors in there. It's really kind of soft and pretty. And we'll be back tomorrow for another video. So hope you'll join us for that.
That's for Patreon,
For Patreon folks. Yep, for the $5 and up. So, yep. And then we'll be back Tuesday night for our regular shows. Tuesday and Thursday night.
What's Tuesday night going to be? I didn't look it up.
What are we painting Tuesday?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I gotta go.
Oh, it's the blurry poppies. Red poppies.
Oh, okay.
Blurry poppies. And then we're doing the Eiffel Tower on Thursday.
Okay.
So, all right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.